Hi, welcome in. Today I'm going to be talking to you about glass pens. I'm Charlotte Carpentier, Charcat's Creative Insanity. Welcome. I got a little obsessed with glass pens when I was in Venice last year. I love everything glass, blown glass, everything. So when I saw people starting to pop up using them, I thought I'd talk a little bit about the differences between what I bought in Venice and what I've been seeing pop up on Amazon and Tuesday Morning and some places like that. First, I want to give a caveat here. I don't receive any kickback from Revo, Altus, or Tuesday Morning, or Amazon, or anybody for what I do here. I don't sell these in my shop. I do sell some of the inks, but not a lot of them. So I do sell the bleed proof white, and that's about it right now. So these are all things that I have just in my personal stash, and I wanted to share them with you. So we're going to talk about things in order here of the glass pens themselves, the inks I use, and some of the papers I use them on. First, I want to show you this beautiful glass pen that I got in Venice. It is a Bortelli, Bortoletti, made in Venice. It's hand-blown glass. You can see there's a lot of really pretty gold. This is a very nicely made pen. What got me hooked on this one is that it has the glass nib is actually removable, and it came with options for a regular nib holder. So if in the event that it breaks or I just want to use a different holder on this beautiful pen, I can. So that's kind of the deal with this. It came with a bottle of really beautiful Bortoletti. I'm sorry, I lived in Italy and I can't even say these words today. Bortoletti sepia ink, which is one of my favorite colors. The pen you can see is green. You can see here, let me get it on the camera right. The nib has some beautiful twists at the end. It's a very fine point. It's tapered. It has deep grooves. It's very smooth on the end. You can actually feel it, how smooth it is with your finger. They also gave me a few extra nibs with it in case I didn't like the one that was on the glass nib. So that was that. I will post the link for the website in the notes at the bottom of the video, but they do sell online and they have a variety of them, and I think shipping was only about $18. So frankly, if you're in the market for something, for a nice writing instrument, it comes gift boxed like this. It's quite nice. So let's move on to talk about the one I found at Tuesday Morning. This was another, it's a hand-blown glass pen. It's significantly smaller. There's no twists in the end. It did come in this nice gift box. It was $9.99 as opposed to my Bortoletti, which was, I believe, about $42. So if you add the 18 for shipping, if you're going to buy one in the US, you're looking at about $60. Honestly, it's nice. This doesn't have the twists in the end. As you can see, it does have a nice grooved nib. It's considerably lighter. This one weighs 19 grams. The Bortoletti weighs 40 grams. So you can see there's a big difference. It did also come with a bottle of ink. This does say it's made in Italy. Where in Italy it didn't say, but it's got this pretty turquoise ink with it. It's a nice looking pen. The only thing I noticed when I was practicing playing with it is the end is very scratchy. You could probably smooth that off with an emery cloth and get the same smoothness like I have with my Bortoletti. So that's the value adds on, I think, on the Bortoletti make it my pen of choice. If I were going to get another one, I'd probably get this, but you know, I would imagine I could also probably contact them for replacement nib if this one broke. But this is one of those things where I keep it up on a shelf where the cat can't knock it off. the bonus of the Tuesday morning pen is that it's square, so if you put it down, it doesn't roll. So, and welcome to my workbench here where there's paint residue on the tail, so it's kind of fun. So the next thing I want to talk about using dip inks with this, the different inks that you can use. I use a lot of things with mine. The ink that came with it is quite nice. I've done several tangles with it. I've pre-shook all the ink bottles before I started the video, so hopefully they're good. I very rarely dip straight out of the bottle. In this case, I may today just because I don't want to dispense a whole lot of different things. But I use these little dishes called Dappen dishes. You can get them on Amazon. You can also get them at if you have a Sally Beauty Supply or a nail supply where people buy their stuff to do acrylic nails. They have those there. They make great little ink receptacles, so they're quite nice for that. So with the ink, I'm going to do a little bit of inking here with the Bortoletti. As you can see, I'm just going to dip, and then I can write. I usually will start something away from the piece I'm working on. I'm working on a regular white Zentangle tile here, just because it really does take the ink nicely. You can see I'm not dipping in super deep because I don't want, I'm going to blot off just a little bit, just because I don't like having a big glob of ink. This is printmaking paper, so it takes ink quite nicely. Some of the other papers I've tried run ink, but the nice part about the dip pen is you can actually use different substances rather than just inks. You can use the F&W acrylics as well. You can use most acrylic ink pen, and the cool part is changing colors. All you have to do is wipe it off with a paper towel. You don't have to really go through a lot to clean it. I haven't cleaned mine in a while. Just twist it through. So there's some, that's the ink that it came with. I'll go to my other one I like is the Bombay India ink, and it comes in a variety of colors, so that's kind of neat. It also has a dropper in the top, so it's easy to dispense into my little Dappen dishes when I want to do that. This is Violet. It's got a really pretty color to it. The other thing that you need to remember about using an ink like this and a pen like this is that the ink is going to take a little bit longer to dry. So you want to like set it aside so that it doesn't get on anything or you don't smear it. And you also want to wait a good long while before you shade or do anything like that. I generally don't shade my my dip pen work. I don't know why. Sometimes I'm just like, it's line explorations for me, and I just really love them. Recently got a sample of this Winsor & Newton ink in my Art Snacks. If you don't get Art Snacks, that's a really kind of fun thing. It's most of these things that when they say they're an ink, they're a thinner consistency, so they're made for the dip pen. You can use them with any dip pen. The thing, though, that you want to not use is fountain pen ink. This vermilion's really pretty, isn't it? The glass pen makes really nice circles, so that's kind of fun. Again, I'm just wiping the pen down between inks so it doesn't take a lot to change colors in the middle of something. So far I've used 3 different colors. I know one of the things that people wanted me to talk about was white ink. This is Dr. P.H. Martin's Bleed Proof White. This is a jar that I have diluted down quite a bit. when it comes, it's the consistency of mayonnaise probably, or even it's like hard mayonnaise. I've added quite a bit of, and I use, okay, I use not just plain water, but I use, oh God, what's that word? Distilled water. God, I'm having a day already. It's Monday, can you tell? So this is the Dr. P.H. Martin's Bleed Proof White. This is a black tile that I've actually got a little spray going on here, something pretty. That's, I think it's the paint on that one. We'll skip that tile and go to just a regular plain tile. I may also not have this diluted down enough to use with the dip pen. Just thought about that. So that does work, but it needs to be diluted down to the consistency of milk. Maybe heavy cream, but more likely milk is the right consistency. It's also sticking in my pen just a little bit more than usual. The other one I like that I use quite a bit is called Pen White, by, again, P.H. Martin's product. Pen White, it's made for technical pen and airbrush. So it has a little bit lighter consistency to begin with, because you can load this in your Isograph or Rapidograph pen. And it sticks. And it has a lot of gumming up around the lid. Having a day this morning. How's your Monday going? So this one's a little bit finer consistency right now. And it still doesn't really want to come off the pen that well. I think this one, again, is just a little bit too thick. So that's one of the things you have to take into consideration with the inks that you're going to use. All of these can be diluted back down with a little bit of water. I'm even getting some, it's sticking, it's really kind of sticking in the pen a little bit, like that. So we're going to glaze over the whites for now. But anyway, though, you can use those. I tend to like those with my pointed pen a little bit better. There's also this calligraphy ink from, this is Daler Rowney, and it's the calligraphy Jet Black India. It's kind of nice. So it has the right consistency. As you can see, my pen's gone back to acting normal again, just changing inks. So that's another one that I like. Winsor & Newton, back to Winsor & Newton, they also make some metallics in their line. The one thing I don't like about about their metallics is you have to constantly stir and or shake them, because they're always settling, because it's actual suspended pigment. So they're constantly in need of shaking. But they are definitely the right consistency. As you can see, I blobbed there. That's not normally what I do, because I forgot to blot off the pen as I brought it out of the bottle. So that's the silver. They also make a gold, but like I said, it's just constantly settling. So you have to continually stir and or shake it. I know that I've seen an electric shaker thing on John Neal Booksellers this week that looked kind of cool, but it was like $95, and I'm like, So in order to get my gold to feel really good, I found this gold Sumi ink. It's got a shaker ball in it. You could hear that when I was shaking it. The gold Sumi ink doesn't settle quite as much. Got a little bubble in there. And it's a really nice consistency. I can actually feel that this hasn't... There's some stuff settled in the bottom here. I probably need to shake it more and more frequently because I don't shake it very often. Because I haven't been using it much. Oh, my pen was coming out. Let me give this another quick shake here. But Sumi inks are really good for this too because they do have a nice consistency. And I like the Kuretake Sumi inks, the Zig. And I found these on Amazon. They also make a red that's really quite lovely. The traditional Chinese red. There we go. Got a bubble again. Popping bubbles is fun with this pen. Okay, now that looks better. So here's the gold. Here's the gold Sumi. God, I'm just having a moment with the inks here. So that's the basics of the inks. Paper again is another thing that you want to consider. I like the Zentangle tiles because they're absorbent and they're soft. I've tried this on harder paper and not had nearly the success. Here's Mr. Blue pen with the scratchy nib. I don't really like using this one. I actually shot this video before, but it's too scratchy. It's hard to get a smooth, whereas with the Bortoletti, it's very, very smooth. You can actually feel this one dragging. Just to give you an idea that I'm not off my nut here about the gold ink working, here's my pointed pen. It's actually a very nice ink. None of my pens really want to work well today, so I did test these out beforehand and they worked fine, and now they don't. But anyway, so that looks really nice, super nice on the black paper. And again, about the paper, I've tried some of the smoother cardstock, some of these tiles that come in a tin with a chicken on them. Everything bled, and I was really unhappy with that. I actually threw a piece away because they're too smooth. So if you want something to practice on, like regular printer paper, I highly suggest that you get yourself a ream of 28-pound laser jet paper because it's really super smooth and it's great for calligraphy practice. So that is my little demo today for you. Let me show you the turquoise ink before we quit. And like I said, I will post the links to the Italian shop on the website below where the video is. Pretty ink, scratchy pen. I can feel it dragging, and it's just really uncomfortable to write with.